Welcome everyone to Loud and Proud Orlando. Thank you so much for being live with us. 8:38 p.m. Better late than never. My apologies. I had some technical difficulties, so I'm on my phone right now for now. But I'm trying to get logged in right now, so I'll be able to turn on my camera. But we had a W. I think everyone expected a really good game from the Lions. A good lineup coming from Coach Oscar, and I think the team delivered. Now the Lions have to hunt Nashville at their turf. The tough opponent. I'm sure they learned from the loss they got at Exploria, and now we have to make sure that we tight some mistakes that we had. Again, lack of finishing. We'll talk about all of that, and hopefully put a nail to the coffin of what's called Nashville SC this season in the MLS, and us, obviously, Orlando City Lions, going through to the next round of playoffs. With me, it's Paola and John, like always. John, how are you, my friend?
Good, man. It's a Monday after a Tuesday game. What is it? Monday game last week, and then we got a game tomorrow. So it's kind of like we had a week of soccer and then a week of soccer, but it doesn't feel that way. You guys, it feels very strange. The whole not having Saturday games is throwing me off. So happy for the win. But I don't know why it's felt like the longest week ever for this second game. Maybe because it's actually more than a week. It's like 8 days. So I can't wait for the game tomorrow. And like you said, man, let's finish these dudes, right? It's like the ultimate fighter, and like they're all dazed, they're waiting there. We've got the opportunity just to like KO them. So that's what we got to do.
Paola, how are you? Welcome
I'm
back.
doing I'm doing great, John. That reminds me of Mortal Kombat. Finish him. I just hear it in my back of my
That's exactly
ear.
it. The finish him. So
Finish
Nashville,
him.
there just waiting for us to come along and punch through their heart. Like,
No, and I'm doing good. I'm doing good, Luis, and thanks for asking. It was weird, like John said, like the weekend, we didn't had any game, and I was watching the other MLS chaos in the Red Bulls game. Last night, Vancouver, LAFC shenanigans. And I'm ready for tomorrow, to be honest. I'm like ready to make off those errors that we did in the first game and brush that out and score more goals and continue our journey. So I'm good, doing good.
So, John, cutting it raw, like they said, what were some of the mistakes you saw in the first game that kind of caught your attention?
I mean, I think from Nashville we got what we expected, right? So I think their chances that they had were things that I think they were gonna get anyway. So I don't necessarily think we made major mistakes. I think there was a moment there where they broke through, and there was a goal that should have been a goal that Sam Surge. I don't know what the man was trying to do, like flick it with the back of his like leg or something, but that was a horrible miss by him, which he should have scored. So they really should have been one up there. So maybe that's then we're 1-0 down. They really close up shop, and that makes it even harder for us. That's a different game state than us going 1-0 up. Also, the Hani Mukhtar attempt from like 40 yards out that Pedro managed to deal with, he can shoot from anywhere. So we have to deal with that. We were very good about closing out Hani most of the time. That there was moments where he was able to get away or have a shot or make that pass to make it, and also Teal Bunbury had another that header that went wide. But again, if he was on form, should have scored that goal. So we didn't completely shut them out, but on the other side of that, we had 25 shots on goal, and if we were a bit more clinical in the first half, it would have been 3 or 4 goals to us. So it was one of those games where nobody was taking their chances. Like inside the box, everybody was missing or couldn't get the goal. And then Wilder was like, "Hey, give me all this time and space out here. I'm going to have a crack at it." And goal of the century. So sometimes in those games, Luis, it doesn't necessarily mean that we were, played badly. I think Nashville, we're always going to have a few chances. But the important thing is that we created way more chances. And in this game, it could have been like a 3-1, but it ended up being just a 1-0. But on the stats, we had way more chances. So that's what counts.
The good thing is that Wilder Cartagena is 100%, right? At first, after that, after him being subbed out, the red flags emerged, especially for his national team. I got like so many calls in one day, like, what's going on with Wilder? Like, and I said, guys, the club doesn't pronounce. I'm like, guys, I am no insider here. Like, chill, take a chill pill. The game's still on. He's probably being subbed out. It's probably a bad it doesn't look like a bad knock because he didn't come out limping or anything like that. He came out on his own. So I think it was just more precaution than anything, and that's what it was exactly. So it was just a big bruise, but he's doing great. He's gonna definitely be a huge part of Orlando's success. That double pivot, it's been it, I believe. I think it's been the cornerstone for Oscar Pareja. You were there at the stands, Paola. You saw that magnificent goal, and also John was there too. But
he was
I
much
mean,
closer than myself, but
huh?
I was like, it was like
he
coming
wasn't
at
in the
me. I
wall.
was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Oh, really?
It was
So
great.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I
it was
really
perfect for
heard
the
that
corner.
bar down sound, it was
I saw the ball curved, and he saw it from the other angle. I was like, "What in the world is happening?" And then I just saw the people like doing the wave in the wall, and I'm like, "Oh my!" Everybody was like this with the towels that the club gave in the beginning of the game. They were like, so yeah, it was magnificent. It was chef kiss for Wilder goal.
Yeah. So honestly, Orlando City had a lot of success. Pedro Galese also came out big in this game. To me, I felt that it would have cost us a little bit more to score if Wilder would have not knocked that shot out of the park. I mean, if it felt like we, like always, were over touching the ball, right? We were being very lethal in the attacking third. But when we had to put it away, I know that the center back duo for Nashville did a great job in covering and marking Duncan McGuire, which I will add, and I want to bring this to John's attention. So we have the voting for the Young Player of the Year, and it looks like it's going to Thiago Almada, not to Duncan. So 52% of the players in the MLS voted for Thiago. Only 8% voted for Duncan. When it comes to the clubs, everybody voted for Thiago. Media, look at that. 74% voted for Thiago Almada. No love for Orlando. And when it comes to the average vote, I mean, it was a ballpark win by Thiago Almada. There's now, obviously, we're an Orlando outlet, but does Thiago deserves it?
I think the problem here is more that MLS have decided to lump the Rookie of the Year award in with this Young Player of the Year award. And I believe that for the rookie that Duncan McGuire is, he should be receiving some kind of award to say that you've had an incredible season as your first season as a professional player. Is Thiago Almada's first season as a professional player? No. Young Player of the Year, I believe, is like under 23. So anybody under 23 is eligible. 22, sorry.
22.
And, Thiago Almada is, of course, one of the best, under 22s in North America, potentially, in the top 100 under 22 players in the world, I would say. So, yeah, Of course he wins this vote. It's not Thiago Almada has, way more goal contributions in terms of assists and goals overall. He's the linchpin of that entire Atlanta team. He's their Facundo Torres. So it's hard to put up Duncan against Thiago. Now, I think it's awesome that he came second. I think it's a shame that he has to go up against him in an award that used to be Rookie of the Year and like a Young Player of the Year. Like Thiago Almada, could have been up there. He was in the MVP conversation. He was in so many different award categories. And so it's kind of frustrating because it feels like this award should be more for guys like Duncan and less like guys like Thiago. Yes, Thiago is the right age, but in terms of club status, he's a star player, not like a rookie, sort of young, up and coming player. I mean, that's the way I see it. I don't disagree with this. I think 100%, Thiago Almada probably deserves this award more than Duncan. But I think it sucks that the two are in the same category because I don't see them as similar kind of level of players right now in their career. Different, same ages, but not similar level of players.
When it comes to Columbus, the resurgence they had with the signings they've had this season, to me, I don't know what Paola thinks. They are the team to beat in the East. Do you feel?
Yes, of
I mean,
course, absolutely.
they have a young, good rookie, Aiden Morris. Like, I mean, he's, and then they have some good signings. Diego Rossi and
I
Cucho.
mean, I have my fears in Columbus more than against Cincinnati, to be honest. So yes, that's the team that I'm afraid of facing, and I believe that that's our next victim in the bracket because Atlanta doesn't look good. Because Thiago Almada didn't play on last week's game. I don't know why, because I wasn't paying attention to the game. But one of my friends, she said, "Oh, Almada is not in the game," and I'm like, "Oh, why? What happened? Injury or something?" She didn't know, so I need to do my research. But you can clearly see that Atlanta is no team without Almada. So I'm curious to see. Well, if they're gonna win the next game, but we're gonna be facing 100% Columbus next. So that's my fear. I think if we beat Columbus, that's gonna happen. We're gonna win the MLS Cup because for me, Cincy is not a threat. It's just Columbus.
The unpredictability of the playoffs, right? As you can see in the bracket, especially in the West, after a phenomenal first season in the league, record breaking. I don't think there's ever been more of a big, big young team like St. Louis with a good fan base and a good team put together from some of the best of Eastern Europe and also Germany, the Bundesliga 2 and Bundesliga 3 squad. Here comes Sporting Kansas City, right? And Patrick Mahomes' team, and pretty much destroys them. I mean, 4-1 on the first game, and then on the second game, best closed the series in 2 games. 2-1 win. Nothing to do with St. Louis. A lot of to build in, is the first playoffs, first year in the league, and then look at Houston, look how tight it is with RSL. And then LAFC, again, I mean, Vancouver had no chance. Now, clearly, I could say, Seattle, Dallas going through a third game, right? They're going through a third game. Now, this is where I see that the East has a huge chance. I think they have the best teams, a huge chance to win it all. Because, I mean, Sporting Kansas City really surprised me. But the rest of the games are just very predictable. Now, when it comes here, we'll see what Atlanta is going to do tomorrow. We're going to see if Orlando can close it down, right? And we're going to see if New England resurgences, right? I have a feeling all these games that we have here are going to go through a third game, including Orlando's. I have a feeling that, I mean, we have what it takes to beat Nashville. I know it. But I have a feeling that the three games that I just mentioned are going to go to a third game. Because all these matchups here have been very competitive. I think ours could have opened a little more of a gap. I think if Orlando would have done a little bit better in the finishing, and I did mention it to Oscar, and I think he liked my question. I said, could have we've done a little better, when it comes to finishing? Is like, I mean, what can we fix? I'm gonna pray for Orlando to win in game 2, but something's telling me, guys, something inside of me. Hopefully, it's wrong. That all these three games, Philly, New England, Columbus, Atlanta, and Orlando, Nashville, they're all gonna go to 3 games. I don't know. What are your thoughts there, John?
I think the only one that's going to 3 games is Columbus, Atlanta. I think Philly will just kill Red Bull in New England. I don't think New England are anything. I think Philly are doing that thing they do where they're getting good at the end of the season, kind of like Seattle, and they're a good playoff team. I think Columbus, Atlanta aren't the same team away from home. Atlanta at home are a much better team. I think, probably Thiago will be back. So I can see Atlanta coming back. I think that's a tight matchup. And then Nashville, to be honest, man, I think they're gonna have to attack us, and they don't look like scoring goals. I don't know where their goals are coming from right now. Hadi Mukhtar is not on form. Sam Surge missed from 5 yards out, right? So, and if they actually open up more and attack us more, I think we're gonna have way more chances. Their best asset is that they're so defensive. So in a game they have to win, they can't be super defensive, unless they want to play for penalties, which is some terrible ass tactic, which I wouldn't. I could, even Nashville, I don't think are going to play for penalties. So they're going to try and beat us by having to attack more than they did. And I believe that that's going to open up more. And then overall, we're just a team that scores 3 goals, and they're a team that barely scores 1 goal a game. So I think it's going to be that way for us, and that'll be through. And you're looking at like a Philly, Cincy, and it's going to be hard, Columbus, Atlanta, but I'm going to go Columbus over the 3.
No, we're gonna teleport real quick to my other pod real quick, because I have this special button called exclusive button, and I don't have it here, so we're gonna do exclusivas, breaking news. I don't have it in English, but here we go. So I have a source in Brazil, a colleague that texted me today and told me, hey, Antonio Carlos plays in your team, right? It's like, yeah. Well, there's heavy speculation that Fluminense, which are the Copa Libertadores champions, are interested and are in negotiations. They already contacted the Antonio Carlos's camp and his manager, essentially, and one of their center backs is going to go to Nottingham Forest. He's already has agreed to leave and going to Nottingham Forest. So Antonio Carlos is being heavily targeted. There was already talks about him. They already kind of had an eye for him, but Orlando's definitely, they didn't want to let him go because obviously he's playing playoffs. And guess who his center back partner duo could be in Fluminense? According to my pal Thiago Silva, he's going to leave Chelsea to go back to Brazil. So we may be seeing the last run of Antonio Carlos. And with that being said, and with those breaking news, now, what are your thoughts about that, John? I mean, I kind of in a way saw it a little bit coming. And it gave us an opportunity not only to give some of our young group of center backs that we have an opportunity for next season, but I feel like we truly need a complement to Robin Jensen. I feel Robin is probably green for a couple more years with Orlando. I feel he needs to stay. He's been the most consistent out of the two. But what are your thoughts regarding those rumors coming from Brazil?
I don't think it's surprising. I think that it's something we talked about, in the summer. We talked about it when he was injured. We've heard rumors about him wanting to go back to Brazil. I think it's also very telling that Schlegel was kept in. Not only because I think Schlegel, did deserve to be kept in, but also because if this is true, then maybe they're saying, okay, we don't want to play Antonio because, he's already 1 foot out of the door kind of mentality. In that case, you're not going to rely on that guy who's thinking like he wants to leave the club right now and not focusing on playoffs. So it's just not helpful. Also, when we're trying to finish our season out, this is why the American season and the Brazilian season not lining up. Like it makes sense for him, right? If they're in early of their season, he could go and continue and go straight into playing in Brazil. So maybe that's what's going to happen once we finish the season, whenever that is. But for right now, he's our player, and the rumors are just rumors, and until anything's official, But I want to hear Paula's thoughts on
Exactly.
whether whether you think you would if this is the case, would you step up Schlegel or would you still be looking for another center back to partner? Most likely, like Luis says, Janssen next season.
For next season, I will stick with Schlegel, and then I would like to see a similar player like Antonio Carlos, because Schlegel and Antonio Carlos are two differently center backs, and for now, Schlegel has stepped in well, right? And we have criticized Schlegel in this pot, like since the beginning of the um of the season. Like he has been better and better, but he has his moment, like every single player in the team, right? But I would love to have another Antonio Carlos, and this is not surprising for me. And I told Alec last Monday, I'm like, two things that we are not seeing Antonio Carlos starting because Schlegel has earned it, or or he's gonna get at some point sold, and not sold because his contract ends at the end of the season, so they're protecting him. And for me, it's not a surprise. So if he wants to leave, c'est la vie. Like he has been uh one of the best center backs that Orlando City has next to Jansen. Those are the dynamic duo for the center back position. We will miss him, but like Luis said, maybe it's an opportunity for the academy step up center backs. Thomas Williams is there for us as well. So let's see. But I would like to see for next season, if Antonio Carlos leave, a similar player like Antonio Carlos, because I love Antonio Carlos. Like
Yeah. He was
I love him.
he's a fantastic center back. And
Hmm.
to add to what Paula said, I feel like we're getting to see Schlegel more because probably that reason. You know, even though I mean Schlegel's been the most consistent this season in the center back duo with Jansen. So I think we're seeing Antonio Carlos coming off the bench, probably the whole playoff picture. And obviously, no one's going to take away all the success he's had with the club. And he definitely, Antonio Carlos is a huge part of the team and a fantastic human being and a fantastic player, right? But I'm going to help out Orlando City's scouting team. I got you guys a replacement already, guys. Yes, I do. Just like Antonio Carlos, about saying, "Hey, I want somebody like Antonio Carlos," So the best center back in the Peruvian league is up to his contract is up in December 1st, and he'll be a free agent more than likely. His name is Ignacio da Silva. He's actually from Brazil. He played season before last in Bahia. Right now, he's killing it over there. He's played almost every game for Sporting Cristal. He played Copa Libertadores, and he's 26 years old. You know, he's like he has pretty good numbers, and he's been phenomenal on off the set piece. It is kind of like Antonio Carlos when he first arrived to the team. I mean, very lethal in the corner kicks. He's good with his feet, kind of like the same way Antonio Carlos kind of cuts through the middle in transition. He's really good going deep as almost like a 5 in a way. So I'm putting it out there because I feel he'll be he kind of is the age that we're trying to sign in a way. His contract's up. There's rumors of lower tier Portuguese teams trying to lure him. When I say lower tier is Pacos Ferreira, Vitória Guimarães. These are lower than the 6th spot in the, these are lower tier teams. So look, if he can come to the MLS, I think he will excel, and it will probably be pretty affordable for the club. It's not like they're spending, it's not like bringing Thiago Silva to Orlando City, right? Right? Clearly. It's kind of like the type of signing Orlando, very, very conscious about age, about able to, not to have a lot of egos. I don't know if you noticed, but our squad is really pretty much, there's no egos in that squad. Like there's, and I don't think not even when Nani was in the squad, there was any egos either. I mean, he was a pretty good leader. So definitely a little of a blow, but I think we'll overcome it. So we'll continue with the bracket. What are your expectations, John, of what's coming against Nashville? What are some of the things that you feel you would like to see more out of Orlando facing this tough rival coming up?
I think we just have to be more clinical. We had so many chances in that first game against them, and we created so much, but we weren't able to get around them in the box more than anything. They're very good at putting 2 lines of 4 deep in their half and creating a lot of problems. And that's why we had to get a goal from so far out with Wilder, because they were just boxing us out of the box. Like literally, they weren't letting Duncan get in there. And, their 2 center backs are some of the best in the league. They've just got a very, very good defensively unit. They're very well trained. So we have to be more effective when we get into those positions in the final third. We have to be a little bit, maybe perhaps more clever, or perhaps we have to be a bit more aggressive, right? Maybe Duncan needs to, be a bit more aggressive with some of these guys, shoulder up to them, show them who's boss early on in the game, put up a physical fight. I think sometimes we're too easy to get pushed off the ball in the final third, and, Nashville, a team that will happily do that to us. So maybe a little bit more, in the box, what I would say cleverness and a little bit more creativity to either go around them or push through them somehow, because they're going to do that again at home. What I'm hoping for is that they will have to open up a little bit more and attack us more, and that will create more space in behind their back lines. If that doesn't happen, I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine they're going to play the same way at home that they did against us, right? I think they're going to have to be a bit more attacking. Like I said, that's going to open up more. In which case, when we get those counterattack opportunities for, guys like Angulo and Facu, we have to be clinical. We just got to take those chances. And if we go 1 up, I don't want to see Oscar try and sit back, because that last 10 minutes or so, you create opportunities for Nashville. I personally am always of the coaching mindset of don't take your foot off the gas, because unless you're 2-0 up and it's the 80 something minute, and I feel really okay, they're already getting chances, let's shut it down. I think in the Nashville game, they weren't having chances, really. Oscar was they brought on Fafa Pico, and we brought on Kyle Smith, and he didn't let him do anything. And Kyle Smith is nowhere near as fast as him, right? So if we're able to nullify their sub threats, I didn't quite understand why Oscar felt the need to go to 3 center backs. And as soon as we do that, like we have done in the past, I don't believe the way we line up then doesn't work, and everyone just seems to be a little bit confused.
And do you feel, Paola, that a
I
better
don't think it's
team?
worth it. I don't think you gain anything from that personally. I'd rather bring on Felipe. Like Felipe did more
Yeah.
bringing him on than bringing on Antonio to keep like it doesn't do it for me personally. Bring on Junior and Felipe if you want to shut up shop. Like bring on a bunch of midfielders that are just going to hold the ball.
So you felt, Paola, maybe that Oscar did a little of a Pappy special?
Absolutely. When I saw Felipe, Antonio, Carl Smith, I was like, oh, he's gonna park the bus here. Poppy special is coming up. And I was scared. I agree with John. Like, and for me, Nashville, they haven't have a lot of goals this season, but they still a threat for us. At some point, they had their chances. And as soon that I saw all those three subs, I was like, hopefully they don't score on us and we go to penalties. That we were like this to get
It's when you
score.
step back, you invite them to attack
Exactly.
you,
That's the word. Yep.
which is it's fine if you're Man
Yeah, but a
City
team
or
like,
whatever,
you know,
right?
but
Like,
I'm with you
if you've
guys.
got an incredible defense, but we have a good defense. We don't have an incredible defense that can just shut like Nashville. That is their tactic. They shut it down at 1-0. So that's why we can't let them score at home first. But we don't do that as well. And we don't do it with 3 center backs. I don't believe personally.
I expected more of the subs in the attacking third.
I think
was
like
imagining
Ojeda
that
could have
too.
caused problems if he
You know,
came on. I think Enrique was causing problems, right? Like I get that Oscar was like he felt he didn't need to chase the second goal. He was happy with 1 goal. I always feel like we have to keep chasing that second.
Right,
I'm with you, John. I'm with you. I was surprised. I was surprised because I haven't seen this Poppy special for so long, because I don't remember the last time that Oscar was all defensive in the last 15 minutes, because he has.
I mean, that's the thing. It's not a package because we were very attacking for like 75, but the last 20 minutes
I mean,
is
we
that
were
old
dominating.
school mentality of him of like, okay, now we're
bring me Antonio Carlos, bring me Carl Smith, bring me Felipe. And when I saw Felipe as the last sub, I'm like, this is the deal. Seal the deal here. And let's bring Felipe to be a nightmare.
Put out fires with subs or you replace guys who are tired, that's fine. Like Kyle Smith did a good job coming on nullifying Pico, but do you need Antonio Carlos? That's the one for me. It's like a center back is not.
Yeah, it's pretty much saying,
bring on a left back and bring on a left winger. That's fine. Don't bring on 3 defensive subs at once.
You are telling the other teams that are on the hunt of the trophy, you're telling them, we score 1 goal, and then I'm going to go ahead and put minute 65, I'm going to close down the game. I'm going to put like a fortress in the back. Come attack me. Now, Nashville, just like you guys said, and I agree with you guys' assessment, Nashville, terrible in the attacking third. I mean, I think they're nowhere near where they used to be. You know, Surridge and then Fafa Picot. I mean, even their subs are not the caliber they used to have in the past. And Orlando did a good job with Wilder and with Cesar Araujo on marking Hani Mukhtar. So they really had no attack. But if you invite the other teams to do that, you have Cincinnati and then you have Columbus. They're going to punish you because they have players like Diego Rossi, Uruguayan national team. They have players like Cucho Hernandez that is scoring every game. You have Brandon Vasquez of a set piece, Brandon Vasquez of the penalty spot. I mean, they have good players. They have Luciano Acosta. So, I mean, I need to see more in this game too of the subs coming off the bench for Orlando City, especially in the attacking third, like Gaston Gonzalez. I need to see more Ramiro, you know. Hell, if Ramiro's not panning out and he's more of a winger, put Jack Lynn. We need to score. We can just pretend that we're going to win all these series 1-0. I mean, look, I'll take it, but I feel like, I mean, if we were playing like teams out west, I would kind of understand, like LAFC and things like that. Probably understand that.
I think Oscar gambled the fact that he think Nashville didn't have enough like
Yeah.
scoring opportunity. I think that's what he was banking on, and I agree with you. Is I think if you do that against Columbus or Atlanta, you're not gonna be able to sustain it, right? They're gonna attack until we score, and that's why I think it's not so much the shutting up shop. That it's more for me. It's like if you want to keep control, you want to get like bring on more midfielders. It's the three center backs changes our entire back line, and it just for me it throws everybody off who they're marking, and I think it creates more problems than it solves.
Look, we have and look again. I know exactly what Orlando, in my opinion, they're going to keep this great core that they have. But if we see in this playoff run that our attacking third is solely dependent on Duncan McGuire, and we have other players on the roster that are not truly doing, having that same impact as Duncan has, and Duncan is very predictable, not because it's his fault, it's just because teams know how to mark him now, right? We gotta get another striker that it's not gonna take the spotlight of Duncan, but it's gonna make his life a little bit easier. Like, and a little bit of a not veteran presence, but somebody in there maybe 28, 29, 30-ish age wise for a couple of 2 more World Cups maybe to play, right? Orlando could do it, and I feel like we need that. Like Columbus got Cucho Hernandez, for example, for almost, expensive, but it was a really big investment. But I think Orlando has Duncan, which is a solid starter right now. But it's also his first season in the MLS, right? I feel like he could develop to be even a better striker with somebody right next to him he could see every day and kind of show him a little bit of different things along the way. It's just my opinion, and we'll go from there. Let's read some comments real quick. Joshua Tall, I really hope we score at least 2 goals tomorrow and defend, and we also get the win. Lakers jacket boo. I'm sorry, man. This is a Search Nash. OC want to avoid Gaston's situation. Sell what you can and protect investment. There you go. Good job. Good comment right there. Christopher Bragdon, is Antonio Carlos on the bench to protect from injury or because of an interest from overseas? I think it's the first. I think it's a little bit of both, in my opinion. I think protect from injury is the first one. But if you ask me, if I was the coach, hey, you're part of the team. We love you. Thank you. Great. Now you're going to play a secondary role now. You're still going to win the cup. You're still going to be in the picture. You're still going to be part of history. You already were part of the U.S. Open Cup run and everything. But I feel Rodrigo, he's going to be here with us for the next 2 or 3 seasons. So, in a nicer way. You know what I mean? Nashville tried to keep the ball last game and didn't work. I feel like they will be more attacking. The first 10 minutes will tell a lot. I totally agree. Search Nashville will push hard in the first 15 minutes. I agree. Enrique needs to start in the Nashville game. Duncan lasts 30 or 40 minutes to press power. That could be, and we're going to do our lineup, but I am with Serge right here. Yes, I think we're going to be playing away. Playing away is a little different. They have a huge pressure on them because they got to get the win in front of their fans now. And we already kind of won the first one, right? So we can definitely start playing holding them down in the first half and then let the horses out in the second. And you remember when Duncan came in the second half of the game against Toronto? Do you remember when, as soon as he came in, boom, 2 goals? that could be it. I don't know what are your thoughts there, John.
I think I think it depends what I agree that they're going to come at you hard at the beginning of the game, but I don't necessarily think you want to like change your starting lineup because of that. I think that Enrique has not really been proven as a striker for us. He hasn't actually scored many goals as a striker for us. I think that especially the size of him against Zimmerman and Mayer, he gets knocked around even more than Duncan would. So I think that it's for me. I wouldn't play him as the striker there. I think you could start him on the left wing, maybe instead of Angulo, but they will come at us. But I think because of that, we need to use that advantage and also attack them very aggressively in the first 15, 20 minutes. Like if they're going to be open, then let's be open too, because we don't have anything to lose, right? Like I understand you say like don't let them score in the first 20 minutes, but I would almost just say let them come at us and then we'll counterattack them in the first 15, 20 minutes. And if we go up a goal in the first 15, 20 minutes, then they're going to have to attack even more and it's going to create even more for us. So I think this is a go after it game. We don't have anything to lose here. I know everyone wants to get it done in 2, but if we bring this thing back home, I think we have every chance of wrapping it up at home, no problem. So I think we should attack them. We should try and get this thing done and not change our tactic. Like if we want to be a big team in this league, you play the way you play. If you watch
Exactly.
LAFC, you watch Philly, you watch Seattle, you watch whoever's a
Yeah.
big team right now, they don't change the way they play for other teams. And we should not do that either. Home, away, it doesn't matter. Attack them with everything we've got. We create more. Last game we should have scored more goals. We had like 6 shots on target, right? Their goalkeeper made some worldy save, like saved one with his foot, right? So I believe if it's an out and out attack fest between them and us, like they're going to have to score and we're going to come back at them, we will triumph. If it's a defensive, who could be the better defensive team? Nashville will win because they're a better defensive team than us. We don't want to play that. That's their game. They want to score one in the first 20 minutes and shut down shop. If we start defensive and allow them to come at us like we did in the last, it's going to be like a continuation of the end of last game for the first 20 minutes. That's not what we want. I don't think Oscar's going to do that. I hope he doesn't do that. I don't think we need to respect them that much, right? We're not going to Man U and playing at Old Trafford. We don't need to worry about them coming at us that much for the first 20 minutes. Arguably, we're the better team. They should be worried about us going at them for their opening 15, 20 minutes. But I think we have to change our mentality and think like we're the big dog team because we kind of are right now.
One thing that we do have to keep going and keep doing. It's what we did in this game against Nashville. Paul, I don't know. We shot the ball over 25 times, the most we ever shot the ball in the whole season. So, I believe we need to keep doing that. That's how Wilder's goal came about. They saw the space. He had the time to connect the ball with his foot, and boom, boom shakalaka. I don't know. Should we keep kicking the ball, shooting the ball?
Absolutely. Why not? But one goal, well, it wasn't a goal, but a shot that I won't be sorry for is Pereira. He was in front of the box and
Yeah.
like
He passed it back.
he didn't. I think no. Well, I don't know what he did. I don't know what he was thinking, but come on, you cannot miss opportunities like that. And if we want to be in the final for an MLS Cup, I'm sorry, but you have to score goals like that. Clear chances because the goalkeeper was not near. He was like, "Hey, here you go, red carpet. Free goal for you to your cheat." No, he wasted it. So, yeah, we can continue shooting the ball. You never know what could happen. um, Opportunities for penalties. That's how they came up. Araujo had a chance to score a goal like 2
Yeah.
times. Wilder, that was not his first attempt for that golazo that he did. It was the second one. So I don't mind the team continues to shoot the ball to the
No,
target. So
no, Pedro Galese had his first shutout in MLS playoffs history. So his first shutout in MLS playoffs. So that's fantastic. And I got truly scared, and I think 33 million Peruvians did too, because the Bolivia and Venezuela games are coming up right now for the national team, for the Peruvian national team. And they're must wins for Peru. If Peru doesn't win those two, I mean, they're going to be the worst team in South America. So when Pedro grabbed his hand, and then he was like hurting, and we're like, oh crap, he broke his finger, man. We're like, oh no way. I was watching the game with the also my friends for the other pod that were on the on Discord watching the game with me, and they're like, oh my god, no, he's injured. Oh man, that's so and thank God he's not. Thank God he's good. But look, we have some words from Oscar Pereja from the last workout. Let's see what he had to say.
Hi, Oscar. Obviously, another big game ahead in a place you played just a couple weeks ago. How can you kind of take away that previous experience in the regular season and kind of help with preparation for this game?
Well, the important part of our preparation is to settle our mind and just be present on the moment without using too much the context of the games or um, just predicting the future. I ask for the players every single day that we have to live one day at a time, one game at a time. And this series is the same. We have a big responsibility to prepare a game that can advance us to the next phase. But we have to go and play them, and surely it's going to be a big challenge. So prepare for that.
How tough is it to play a team so many times in a short amount of time? Because they're able to kind of understand a lot of the differences that you throw at them. And this is your third game in a month against them now.
Right, it's true. It has challenging things, but it's what it is. It's the ruling and the format of the league, and we're ready to do it. I think the fans are enjoying it. We will try to do the same and try to get the best out of this experience of playing this series with the same team. We're fine.
So he seems like he's gonna do what he's been doing the past few games. There's really not too much. It's kind of like you said, John. He's gonna just do his game and hope for the best. And I believe that Orlando has I think the biggest. Nashville has, I think, the weight on his shoulders, in my opinion. Orlando has won the first one. They can go to this one playing very smart, right, and doing their game, and they've already gotten a W in Nashville, so they know how it feels winning there. And I feel Orlando has, it's been one of the best road teams in the league, so best away game teams in the league. So I think that the heaviness of that backpack, it's on Nashville. And I think Orlando needs to feed on that and hopefully close it down. If not, I will be there on the third game, game 3. I'll be there game 3. I promise this time to go to the tailgate with Paola to eat her hot dogs. Right? Right? What Paola's laughing?
I mean,
I won't. What was that, John?
I was gonna be like, what? Luis is gonna
No,
come to the tailgate?
me too. I'm like, I've been waiting all
I'll
season
come
for
with
this.
my Poppy in
He's always
shirt.
working. He's working. We're the
I'll
ones
come
having fun.
I'll come like Superman. I'm gonna take Poppy in right there
Oh, Poppy in
with a big
Okay.
P. All right. All right. So talking about Poppy, there was the Pareja perspective, and I heard it was a really good event. I like that the club does this with Oscar, right? It hasn't lost its one-on-one personal touch with the fans, and I think I know the team Orlando, especially since inception, since USL days, they've always had that huge connection between the club, like the players and the fans. Like I remember, in the, always ready for a picture, always ready for an autograph. They make them kind of in a way part of the community, right? And I think that hasn't lost. It hasn't lost in the shuffle of coming into the MLS, and actually having one of the most successful seasons in Orlando City history. And I like the fact that it's still building that one-on-one relationship with the fans. What were your thoughts when you heard? I never been to that Kiwis pub. I heard it's really good. Have you been there, guys?
No.
Yeah, I've been there.
You've been there?
Yep.
I've been invited a lot of times, but it's super far from home, so I
Was it
haven't
was it
been.
Winter Park?
It's in Altamont, if
Oh,
I'm not
Altamont.
mistaken. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna. We should go there.
Yeah, there's so here you go. I actually set up the Orlando City Pub program. There you go. Way back in
Oh, wow.
2015. Yeah,
We're
yeah.
talking to the OG.
Yeah, the OG man who said it. I used to go around trying to sell. This is when Orlando City was like just an MLS team. So they
Yeah.
were like, I'd go around to these pubs and try and sell them on becoming a location. This was actually not one of mine, but there's some of the original ones that I still went to. They're still, what they call city pubs today. So places that show the game. And Kiwis is one of the ones that they've been using, more recently. There's another one. I think they're slating a watch party for Wall Street, I believe, and that's one I did set
Wall
up
Street. I remember
many
Wall
many years ago. I used to do a lot of work with the guys down at Wall Street. Obviously, we announced Kaká there. We've done a lot of big events there over the years. So it'll be interesting to see how many people go on a Tuesday night at 9:00 to downtown Orlando.
I was so mad that it was in a
Question mark?
Tuesday at
Yeah.
9. I wanted to go. I'm like, oh, geez, come on. If it's in a
Yeah.
Thursday, that's fine. But a Tuesday, ugh, fine. I will
So I
see it
think
in
we
my
have to
bed.
decide what we're gonna do because I don't know what to do for this game. Part of me wants to watch it from behind my sofa, like like this. And part of me wants to go somewhere and get some atmosphere because I feel like we're gonna, get this W and go through to the next round. But overall, I think it's just sucks that it's on a Tuesday night.
Yeah,
I
I
play
mean,
softball tomorrow. So I play softball, win, and then come running home to see this game. So hopefully we win
no,
the championship.
I've had one of the worst weeks right now. So Mondays are always tough for me. Work, and then I got two shows after this one. I have to go to another one, and then tomorrow it's the Orlando game. So I'm probably going to be doing again, the watch along again, and doing the post game show more than likely briefly after the watch along. And then I have Wednesday is the final. It's the El Clásico, the Peruvian Clásico, is the biggest two teams in Peru for the final. Is the final of the whole. I mean, whoever wins is a champion. So we gotta narrate the game. I gotta do commentary for 2 hours. Then I gotta do the post game, and then that same night is the 3rd anniversary of my other pod. That
So much
same
going
night.
on.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So, and then, the good thing about it is that I'm going to be super more liberated because there's really no soccer. MLS is going to be over. And then obviously holidays come in, Thanksgiving and then Christmas and all that good stuff. So, but let's read some real comments right here. Search Nash, physicality against worn out Nashville players. Totally agree. We have the team to do it. We have great players. Even on the bench, like you have Abdi Salim, super physical player. You have also the left back and right back, Mikey Holiday he's a little physical. I mean, he doesn't know how to mark a little. I mean, it kind of his not his defensive mindset, in my opinion, is not maybe yet fully cooked yet because he's still kind of in a way learning. But attacking wise, in transition, he's very lethal. I like Mikey Holiday. The crosses he's made are pretty spot on. And then Luca Petrasso, also very physical player when it comes to the 1v1. So I think we have some physicality going on there. Serge Nash, we must close. We must close tomorrow. We will not be able to make it back from Philly on time for Sunday game. Flying out to support boys in Nashville tomorrow, though. Vamos. There you go. That's amazing, Serge.
Nice.
That's fantastic, man.
I'm seeing all these pictures on Twitter of everybody like flying out, and so
I want to go.
I'm so miserably jealous of everybody's going.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to go, but like, I found tickets $700 round trip.
It's not even that, man. I just can't go on a Tuesday. It's work.
Yeah,
it's not
work.
possible. I gotta be at work at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. You know, it's not. It just sucks. MLS, the year we do so well, all the other years, the Saturday playoffs games, and the year we do well, they suddenly decide to reinvent the wheel and put all of our games on a Monday and Tuesday.
My exact same thoughts.
There's a Nashville pod on right now, live.
Oh, really?
We should crash them and put be like,
no.
Orlando. No,
There's a particular person on Twitter who everybody's been beefing with, and some people from our fan group took it too far and went and sent this guy death threats and stuff.
What?
I think it's.
I didn't know about that.
There's not any point in going into the details of it. It's just overall, it's sad to me that there's people that take it that far. Like, I think it's fun on Twitter. Like, that people want to have a little bit of banter with us. You know, we're a very active fan base on Twitter, right? So
yeah,
that's fine. You know, but I think that think if you take it too far, it's a problem. So
people from Orlando have threatened people from Nashville, or vice versa?
Yeah. There's a guy that it was threatened. Yeah.
Do we know this person?
I mean, I don't want to go into details of it. But yeah, I'm not interested in doing that. Obviously, I don't want to bring up this guy. I'm just saying that, you know, it shouldn't be something that
of course
happening.
I mean,
and
we couldn't.
It reflects badly on us as a fan base.
And
it makes me sad that people would do that, and then that, you know, then people think like all of our fans are like that.
No. We gotta, and I mean, I know for a fact that when.
We're all here for fun, but it's not, you know, nothing's personal. We're just bantering about our teams, nothing else.
I mean, look, the MLS is over, and then we all go to our families and have a great holiday and things like that. You know, all these negativity stuff. You know, it's really, I condone that completely. I'm with you, John, on that. So I support you on that 110%. I don't think we don't have time for that. So let's do the lineup for the game against Nashville real quick. Would you guys
Houston just scored against RSL, by the way?
Whoa, Houston just scored against RSL.
Yeah, that's big.
And I was paying attention to the score, and now when I'm not paying attention, they made a goal. Great, thanks.
Yeah,
that's
them. That's them. You know, they won the first one too. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there are some cheap flights. I saw that.
Okay.
No, I just can't go.
All right, well.
Oh, this has a delay. It says 0-0 on MLS. That's why I don't know the score. Boo.
Well, the MLS website, somebody's slacking.
Now, I just refreshed it again. 1-0.
There you go.
0-1.
All right, so Galese up top, I think. I think everyone's in agreement.
Of course.
And then now, who do you put as your center back, though? I feel he's going to go for Rodrigo and Robin again.
Yeah, the same starting lineup.
Everything we talked about today with Antonio just means it's more likely that Schlegel keeps the spot.
Yeah.
And he played well, I gotta say.
He's been doing great.
I thought about this the other day, and I'm definitely gonna do it if he continues to play. Like, have to make an apology post to Schlegel because he's turned it around. Like, no, like I'm not. Look, I don't always believe
we have
that.
cooked them. Yeah, we have
believe that players can develop like I think a 28-year-old center back is what you get, right? I don't think they necessarily get better, but Schlegel has improved in the last
How old
5-6
is
months.
We
Schlegel?
gotta have the LPO awards.
He
for
might
the
not be that
players.
old, but I think he's in his late 20s.
Yeah, we have to do the LPO awards. Who, Rodrigo? How old is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see.
So,
Rodri.
well, he might not be that old. He might be younger. But anyway, I just think he's taken a big advancement this year that other years
26.
we hadn't seen
26.
from him,
Man,
right?
he's so young, dude. Man,
they say most players peak development around 23,
Yeah.
24.
that's crazy.
So
26 years old. He looks like
I
he's
think he's taken a big step up this year. And I think if he continues like this, I'm fixing to make an apology for Schlegel.
Rodri is one of the veterans.
He's stopped making these errors, and as long as he keeps it that way, then knock on wood, then I think every reason that he can be a good set.
And not only that,
Don't jinx it, John.
I'm knocking on wood. I literally did it. You saw me. You heard it.
I think he's a really good veteran presence for the locker room too. I think his personality, his charisma with all his teammates. I mean, everybody loves Rodrigo, and when he first came into the team, I remember what it was like. Hey, this guy kind of. They weren't impressed, right? But little by little, after that save on that penalty against NYCFC,
he won our hearts.
That put him in the.
I mean, I don't want to sell the guy. It's just a question of does he get the starting job? And I think this year he stepped it up to say maybe he could be the starting guy.
So, are we going for Rafael Santos here?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. By the way,
going for
Rafa Santos has been kept pretty quiet recently. I feel like he's due a a good assist or something. Like Nashville managed to keep him pretty and Dagger Dan, right?
Yeah,
fairly quiet in that game.
Pretty quiet, yeah, but I wouldn't change him. It's my opinion. I wouldn't change him. I think Dagger Dan has been to me. In the beginning of the year when they said, Icelandic player, we're like, okay, cool, everybody, another Adrian Winter, you know what I mean? Great. But this guy, man, he impressed me. I mean,
and clearly teams are going after him. Like they know that he's a makeshift right back, like they know he's not a natural right back. Schaffelberg, I can never say his name right, but the guy with the horrible mullet, he did him a couple times because he's got that speed and he's just a very pacey winger. But overall, I think Dagger Dan had a pretty solid game. Right, he's not the best defensively, but he brings you a lot going forward.
I agree. I think Schaffelberg he started pretty good, but I mean he kind of.
I'm just laughing because of the bad mullet. That comment
it's
cracked
like
me.
He had a mustache too.
It's a curly ginger mullet. It's incredible. I've never seen such a haircut in my life.
Apparently girls like it. I don't know, Paula. Do you think that's
no? I
maybe
cringe every time
girls,
that I see a mullet.
I don't know.
What
if
you're a girl like your husband shows up
and
with
you
a
like
mullet
a curly ginger mullet? Let us know because I'm interested.
I will say, Alec, go back to the car. Let me drive you back to the barber shop.
I'll shave your head right now. Man, that'd be hilarious. So Cesar Wilder, and then you have as your 10. Do you put Mauricio? You keep Mauricio?
Keep copy paste.
Mauricio had a great game, passing game, right? Like he missed the sitter, like all of a sudden.
Don't remind me of that. But
he can't score apparently, but he can make incredible passes. And we said on the last pod, Louise, that he needed to be,
that key
fire.
Player.
Yeah, like we need that Mauricio there. We need him running the game, like competing, and he was. So we just gotta hope he keeps that up.
And then we have Facundo Torres as your right wing and Ivan Angulo as your left wing. And then right up top, I mean, here I believe
Duncan.
I mean, clearly Duncan will be the pick, but we've seen what Zimmerman and the other guy can do. Now, do you guys still feel confident to put Duncan or maybe put him on the second half?
I mean, I agree with what John said earlier. Like, if we can find ways to trick Zimmerman and the other guy. I don't know how to
I
pronounce
think
that
his
last
name
name.
was Mule.
Mayor, I think.
Mayor,
Jack,
Mayor,
Yeah, Mayor.
Mayor.
Jack Mayer. Is his
Jack
name.
Mayer, yeah.
Maher.
Yeah.
I understand what Serge Nash was saying about bringing Duncan on second half is like his physicality can change the situation. Like he has more
Yeah.
effect when your Nashville center backs are tired, but I just don't think. I'm not sure, unless we're going for like a speedy counterattack tactic that Enrique suits. I'm just not sure about him in that striker role.
I like it as a winger. I agree with you.
Yeah, I think he comes. I
I
think he
think
plays
he's a
best.
natural
Best
winger.
off the left wing, off the bench, where he can replace Angulo. I think if you want physicality in the last 20, 30 minutes, bring Jack Lynn on.
Jacqueline,
Yeah,
Gaston,
he can do that role up front for you.
and Enrique in the front.
Right.
Go
exactly.
physical. Be physical.
If I'm
Ojeda,
Oscar,
let's bring Ojeda on this game for sure.
yeah, if I'm Oscar, Ojeda will be one of my right. And I will also agree with John. I think make Jack Lynn be that player no one is marking off a set piece.
Yep, because
And make him just stay in the box and get the ball off a rebound.
Yeah, like if you need a target man to go up there and bully around in the last 20 minutes, great.
Right.
Bring Jack Lynn on 100%.
And I think he's going to be a huge part of our team next year. So, I mean, you got to.
I think we should use all our assets in this game, right? Like it's coming to the 20, 30th minute. If it's still level, we've got such depth to use that they don't have. So let's use it.
Yeah. So it says you will have to go on contra in first 30 minutes. Jacqueline is not a bad plan. Encounter in the first 30 minutes. Duncan, better game plan for the last 30. It says Serge Nash. There you go. Christopher Bragdon says Jacqueline. I do agree. I think Jacqueline. Look, if Jacqueline starts this game, there's something that Oscar has planned for him to put him as a starter. You know what I mean? And who knows? Oscar. And again,
I'd be shocked if Jacqueline starts.
I'll be shocked too. First playoff game, you imagine he scores a brace. Man, I'll go crazy.
I'll go crazy.
From OCB to Orlando City. First
be the hero.
Yeah. So, this will be the starting lineup for us here at LPO. Galese up top, Dagger Dan, Rodrigo, Jensen, Rafael Santos. Two in the middle, your double pivot, Cesar Araujo, Wheeler Cartagena, right as your 10, Mauricio Pereira. As your right wing, you got Facundo Torres. As your left wing, Ivan Angulo. And then right up top, Duncan McGuire. Another thing that Nashville did really good is not allowing Facundo to cut through the middle. Mm-hmm. And we need to watch out for that because I feel like Facundo is reusing that same old tactic, and everybody in the league knows now you cut through the middle, man. Try
and
something else.
Can't shoot from his right foot, so everybody knows that.
Yeah. One thing
I think we should switch Angulo and Facu in like 20 minutes.
One thing that I did
that throws teams off.
One thing that I did like about Orlando in this game that I think they should do it in this upcoming games in the playoffs is that these three men right here in the middle, they were switching spots. Like every transition play, you see Mauricio on the right, then Facu on the middle, and Angulo on the left. Then you'll see Angulo on the right, Facu on the left. So that kept Moyle and the other kid, Schaffelberg, they didn't know what they were doing. They're like, man, what am I going to go? Because Nashville was doing the 1v1 marking on those players, and they didn't know. And that was kind of causing Nashville to like stop communicating with each other. And that's where Orlando started creating so many chances on the attacking third. Now, they were doing one thing right, their back line, which was stopping Duncan McGuire. Now, is this the second game? The game maybe we're going to see a 4-4-2. I don't know. I don't think he's going to change the lineup very much, but I mean, Duncan didn't do pretty much anything in the first half. So
Nope.
that's one thing that I'm a little bit concerned. I don't know. What do you guys?
What is your prediction? So you're saying earlier that there's a third game, right, Luis? For
Yeah,
you,
so do you predict a loss then, Luis?
No, for me, I think I can predict Orlando losing like that.
No, you say you want a third game.
you want a third game, Luis?
Luis
I
for a
mean,
third
personally,
game.
I want a third game because I want to go to the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, but that's just being selfish.
Luis, we will still have a game
We will
at
still have a
home.
game.
It's fine. It's just a little longer away.
Right. So, I want Orlando to close it in 2. I feel like Orlando's going to have a 2-1 win against
2-1
Nashville.
game. Okay.
I think
Okay.
Nashville's going to score 1 on us. But I think we're going to be 2 goals up. So I think it's going to be a 2-1 win Orlando City, and then we close it down and we go to the next round. Now, who do we face in the next round? I don't know. What's your prediction
Columbus
there,
or
Paula?
I say Columbus. Unfortunately, I say it with the bottom of my heart because I don't want Columbus, to be honest.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think Atlanta win tomorrow, but I still think Columbus go through after the third game. I'm
Hopefully.
with you. I think 2-1 tomorrow for us.
2-1.
Yeah, I think Orlando wins
Like-
2-1.
Nashville at home will just about have enough to get 1 through, but overall we'll just we'll overpower them with our assets, I think.
Hopefully, Oscar has talked to Duncan and they
I
kind of
think
watch.
that's just how they are as a team, and at home they just put so many guys in the box, Luis. Like I
Mhm.
wouldn't worry too much. I think it's just that's Nashville that's just so defensive that they stop Duncan. I don't think that it's Duncan struggling. I think that they're just really good center backs.
They're marking him a lot. So
Yeah, I think we could close it in 2, and then on the other series, Columbus Atlanta, I feel Atlanta may win the second game. And I think that one's going to go to a third game. I think they're going to tie in the series, Atlanta.
I agree.
They're playing at 7 tomorrow, so we'll know by the time we kick off if it's a Columbus through in 2 or whether it's going to go to a third game.
I really wish we will face Atlanta, not Columbus.
Yep.
Because I feel that an Orlando-Atlanta game and a semifinal, 1 game only, sudden do or die with our fan base, it's gonna sell out the stadium. It's gonna sell it out. Now, even if it's on a Friday, I have a lot of faith on the Orlando City fan base because Atlanta-Orlando is a huge rivalry for us. So, I mean, putting an exclamation point on putting an end, we kind of in a way with Messi and Miami, we lost a couple of games against them, but Atlanta, we've been really, really solid against Atlanta. Putting an end to that rivalry against Atlanta, it will be in this game right here if they make it through. Obviously, it's going to give Atlanta a huge momentum. They're going to gain a lot of momentum. They're going to be very excited to be in the semifinal from being 6 and beating the third. I feel like the third game could even go to penalties for these 2 teams right here, Columbus and Atlanta. So we'll see. I don't know about Columbus, but I feel Columbus is being an Achilles heel. I don't know.
Yep.
I wish honestly I don't want to face them. So
I think us going, if we knock out Nashville and we knock out Columbus, after that, I'd be like, well, now we'll just win it because I think those are 2 biggest challenges for us.
Yeah.
Like Nashville, of course, problems for us like other teams don't, just by being so defensively solid. And Columbus causes problems by being almost the same team as us, like just so direct and attacking and just have so many assets. They scored as many goals as we do. So I think if we can get past those two challenges, Stincy or whoever in the MLS Cup, I think will look a lot like an easier challenge in some ways after getting over the mountain that is Nashville,
And if
potentially Columbus.
and if in the conference final you get Orlando Philly, I'll be honest with you, that another rivalry has brewed. I feel like that Orlando Philly is gonna become a rivalry. Started off as a very respectful, hey, we're facing Philly, top team in the league. We won a couple, they won a couple, right? Even tension among some of the players. But I feel now if they're both in the conference final, and again, we have, in my opinion, the winning end of the stick because we have the factor, the number 12 fan. We have the wall. We're gonna be at home. So for our conference final, a semifinal, I'm hoping those games are on the weekend, right?
Hopefully.
Right? Right? At least a Friday, man. Come on. Because those are going to be sellout games.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
So, so I have a feeling that, we're going to definitely, if, just like you say, John, if Orlando goes to the semifinals, I'm going to start one tier is going to start dropping from here. And we're definitely going to have to make some shirts for LPL.
A tear already dropped from my eye because we made history the first time that we win a playoff game.
Yeah, true.
That's the truth.
And I bet for John, I mean, if Orlando lives the cup, I mean, to me, it's gonna be super special because I've also been there since the beginning, like as a fan. Like I remember playing they played in UCF for a little bit, and then they've also played War Waller Sports. All those times, with Kevin Molina was like the superstar at some point. Dennis Chin, Jamie Watson, right? Then going from that era to Kaká, the Brazilians, and all that stuff, and then now with the Wolves, it's huge. I mean, if for me is that special, I'm sure for you, John, it's like, man, we're probably not gonna hear from John for a couple of days.
He's not gonna sleep. He's not gonna sleep.
He's gonna go out like Frank the Tank.
I'm just mentally so positively thinking about these playoffs, man. I feel like any other year we've just been creeping in, like we, barely scraping our way in. And this year we're an actual contender and we could actually win the whole thing. So that excites me. I'll be happy no matter what happens.
Yeah.
It's been an incredible season. I think we're going to see another game regardless, right? So whether it's a third game against Nashville or a semifinal, we're going to see another playoff game, and that excites me. And then just keep going from there, one step at a time. But yeah, I'll definitely I'll be shedding some tears if we go really far.
Yeah, for sure. Well, guys, want to thank and appreciate everyone that's watched live. If you're watching this later on, make sure you drop us a comment, subscribe to the channel, drop us a thumbs up. Any last words you want to say, John, before we close?
No, just everybody, make sure you watch tomorrow, whether it's on the couch at 9 o'clock at night or if you're going to go out to the bar or whatever, and support the boys. I know it's a Tuesday, but it's playoffs, so I got to get hyped on a Tuesday night for playoffs at home.
Right.
Or wherever. I think this is why I need to go to the bar. I can't be hyped at home on my own. I need other
people.
Fans.
Yeah, you need people.
It doesn't feel like the playoffs if I'm sitting on my couch,
What about you, Paula?
Well, tomorrow, as I mentioned, I play softball on Tuesday. I'm gonna tomorrow's the final game. Hopefully we win the championship, and then Orlando's so I'm gonna be already hyped in some of way because it's a Tuesday. But I'm like you, John, if you're in a bar tomorrow at 9 p.m. taking 3 shots, one for Luis, one for John, and one for me in
There you
our
go.
behalves, because
And
I'm
then
not
you
gonna
can
be
go
in
to
a
the
bar.
watch along. You
Don't
can go-
do that. You'll be hungover on Wednesday. That's a terrible idea.
Just
Drink
don't
water.
drive.
That's good. Drink water.
Drink water between them, but please
Fruit
do
punch.
so.
Tequila only. Just pure tequila, and you'll be fine.
Oh, ugh.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
Andrew.
but tomorrow, support the team, whether you are at the bar, at home, in a parking lot, in a baseball field like me tomorrow. Support the team. So vamos Orlando.
There you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow, the watch along. Thank you so much. Support us. Drop us a thumbs up. Drop us your comments. Thank you for being with us. And vamos Orlando. Take care, guys. Let's win. Let's win this tomorrow.
Go.
Have a good one.